What if I told you that you can make your own lock products at home, and not only is it really easy, it's also going to cost you a fraction of the price of anything that you can get in a store. In this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nadia, and I am the content creator behind dreadlockculture.com. I've had my locks now for just about 7 years, and in the last 6.5 years, I started making the majority of my lock products, minus maybe one or two. In this video, I want to share with you 7 recipes that I know for sure your locks are going to love, and they are by far some of my favorites. The reason I recommend making your products at home is because you have full control over all of the ingredients, and also it costs cents to make, so really you can't go wrong. And another thing, if there's some ingredients that you don't like in some of these recipes, you can always switch them up or change them to your liking. Use my recipes as a template, and then you can just personalize them however you would like. The first recipe we're gonna look at is the Citrus Daily Moisturizer. This one essentially is just a blend of distilled water with 4 different types of citrus essential oils. You're gonna mix all of these into a spray bottle, and you're gonna spray that liberally throughout your hair every single morning. The reason I really love this one for the morning is because citrus scents have an energizing feeling or properties, and they help to improve mood and concentration. And they just kind of give you this boost, which I think is essential for me in the mornings. So that is why it is one of my favorite moisturizers. Now, as a side tip, I have 7 other moisturizer recipes available for free on my website, but I'm going to link it also for you in the description below if you want to download that. And there's a total of 8 recipes with different blends of essential oils that I think go perfectly well together, and they smell really good on locks. This second recipe is the Workout Loc Spray. This one is very similar to the moisturizer spray, except you're gonna add 2 tablespoons of witch hazel. Witch hazel helps to reduce the oiliness on the scalp, and it just kind of cleanses the scalp naturally. So if you feel like your scalp's too sweaty because you've been working out a lot or you're in a humid environment, then it's gonna kind of tone down that extra oiliness, and it's gonna feel really good, not just on your scalp, but also on the locks themselves. So this one is one that I recommend post-workout. This third recipe is one of my favorites. It's the Rose Water Lock recipe. And I primarily use this one to soften my locks or when my locks feel extremely dry. Essentially how you're gonna make this is you're gonna take about 2 cups of distilled water and you're gonna put them in the stove just almost up until the boiling point. Once that's almost boiled, you're gonna turn off the water. You're gonna put the petals into the saucepan and cover it for about 20 minutes. So let that steep. This is gonna allow the water to be completely infused by the nutrients from the petals. Then when the 20 minutes are up, you're gonna filter the petals out and you're gonna put the liquid into a spray bottle, and you can apply it all over your locks. Now I wanna make it clear that because it has softening properties, it can be counterproductive to the locking process if your locks are not yet mature. So if they're not, then just don't use it as often. Maybe use it once every other week or once a month and see how they feel. And then you can kind of slowly start incorporating it more often. Kind of play around with that and see how they feel. But if they start to feel like they're just loosening up too much, then don't use it for a little while. And then once your locks have become more mature, then you can incorporate it back into your routine. This fourth recipe is the Loc Detox. I've done my Loc Detoxes a little bit different over the last few years. So I kind of started using this recipe more recently, and it's worked really well. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take a basin or a bucket or somewhere where you're gonna soak your locks into. You're gonna put hot water in there and add the baking soda as well as the essential oils. You're gonna submerge your locks in that for about 15 to 20 minutes. You're also gonna wanna get a small cup or something to put some of that water into your scalp. Just make sure that you're submerging not just your locks, but also that your scalp is getting some of that as well. And after about 20 minutes, you're gonna rinse your locks, and then you're gonna take the same bucket with a new batch of hot water, and you're gonna put the apple cider vinegar. Then you're gonna submerge your locks and soak them once again for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then once the time is up, make sure to rinse your locks off completely so that there's no extra baking soda or apple cider vinegar left in there. And then you're gonna wrap it with a microfiber towel to dry. And as a tip, make sure that you're doing this earlier in the day. That way it gives your locks the entire day to dry. And by the nighttime, you definitely don't want to be going to bed with wet locks. Number 5 is actually my real number one. I think I love this one more than the rose water. And this one is called the Anti-Itch Aloe Vera Spray. This one has really changed the game for me, especially earlier on when my scalp was still transitioning to my locks and I had a really itchy scalp. This almost gives me instant results. And depending also on the essential oils that you'll put in there, it'll just make your scalp feel so good. So anyway, let's get into this recipe. You're gonna take about 1 to 1.5 cups of distilled water. You're gonna put that into your spray bottle. Then you're gonna add the essential oils of your choice. My personal favorites are kind of the more tingly ones. So tea tree, rosemary, eucalyptus. For me, those are some that complement this recipe the best. And then you're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of pure aloe vera gel. In the description, I'm gonna link for you the step-by-step on how I take the gel extracted from the leaf. And personally, that's the kind that I use. If you happen to find any aloe vera gel in containers, just make sure that there's no added ingredients or any unwanted ingredients that could cause buildup. But I believe that at health food stores, you could possibly find some aloe vera that comes in a container, and it's gonna make this recipe a lot less time consuming. In any case, try this recipe if you have an itchy scalp, and please let me know what you think because it's by far one of the best. The 6th recipe is the overnight oil treatment, and this one is particularly good for hair growth and for stronger hair growth. So essentially what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a small glass container and you're gonna put in about a tablespoon of castor oil, and then you're gonna add in about 10 drops of lavender, rosemary, and peppermint into that. Mix it all up and then kind of dab your fingertips into that oil and massage your scalp really well. Just the scalp alone. I wouldn't really go into the actual locks themselves because it's really way too heavy, and then removing that the next day is going to be a little bit difficult probably. So you'll want to focus on just massaging the scalp, and then you're going to cover your hair with a shower cap, and then on top of that you're going to put your silk bonnet. This is going to help to maintain the oils in your head throughout the night, but also it's going to protect your bedding from getting all that extra oil on it. And then the following morning, you're going to wash your locks as you normally would, and that's going to help to get rid of all that excess oil. Finally, our last recipe is the sea salt locking spray. This one is a bit controversial maybe, and I would only recommend you use this on locks that are new or that are not fully mature yet. The reason this is kind of controversial is because salt by its very nature dries things up. And so while it's going to help to tighten up any loose areas and maybe even control the frizz a little bit, it's also going to cause your hair to be really dry. So it's not the thing that I would recommend using all the time. In fact, if your locks are new or if you have areas where you just kind of want to control some of the frizz, then only use it maybe an hour or 2 hours before you're going to wash your locks in that same day. So don't leave this on overnight and don't use it for days on end. Just kind of once in a while you can use it, but use it with caution. And also you don't want to be using it on your scalp directly because that's going to cause a lot of scalp issues. So make sure that you're just using it on your locks, but again, use it sparingly. So the way that you're going to make this recipe is you're going to take about a cup of warm water and you're going to put maybe 1 or 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt in it. You want the water to be warm. That way it helps to dissolve the salt. Then you're going to shake it up and you're just going to apply it to the areas where you feel like your locks really need it. Again, use it with caution. Don't come back and get mad at me that your locks dried out because I warned you. And those are the 7 recipes. If you enjoyed those, then I think you're going to really love my book with 39 lock recipes. You can find my book on my website. I'm going to link that in the description. And I'm also going to be linking the PDF downloads for each of these recipes in case you want to print them out at home. Be sure to let me know if you try any of these recipes, and if you do, which one is your favorite. Leave that for me in the comments below. If you have any recipe questions, then also be sure to leave those for me in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, leave me a thumbs up, please. If you want to see more of this kind of content, then subscribe to the channel. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.